Hi everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. Rich is here today with another video about XRP as usual. So wherever you are in this vast planet, I hope you're all having a nice day today. I have to start our discussion regarding XRP with this statement from XRP Captain Whale, who gambled against XRP and was liquidated. Because it is so volatile, XRP is one cryptocurrency that I would never wager against. For the same reason I don't try to sell at one price and then buy back in at a lower price, since 9 times out of 10 when people expect XRP to fall, it usually starts to rise again. The token surged well above the initial price of $2.89, causing significant losses of over $650,000, as we have seen so many times before. The total value of the position was around $18.6 million. The whales, as you know, attempt to control the market and it usually works out well for them. It did not this time. You don't wager on XRP because of this. At the federal level, the CFTC is moving quickly to allow instantaneous trading of digital assets. The US crypto race has begun. The listed spot crypto trading initiative is launched by acting chairman Pham. Stakeholders are asked to submit public comments by August 18th. Thus, it appears that the CFTC is now making progress. I'm also curious to see what results from this. Digital A is the source of this. XRP is not the only cryptocurrency that uses a two-ledger structure. Private ledgers are also run by Quorum, Hyperledger, Hbar Xdc and Xlm. Central banks utilize private ledgers, while CBDC uses a public ledger that is accessible to all. GPT source conversation. This is where you can see it. Yes, the XRP net ledger is a public ledger. Yes, a private ledger. The same is true for Hedera, Stellar, XDC and so forth. People therefore always believe that the price of XRP would suddenly soar after the banks exit the private ledger testing phase, like a button flipping overnight. Since they are undoubtedly testing XDC as well as XLM and HBR, that would imply that the same thing might occur for XDC, XLM, HBR, and so on. Do you genuinely think that we will witness the moment of switch flipping if these banks are still in the testing stage? Post it in the space provided for comments below. This is what I'm thinking. I believe that the XRP bugs we've been observing are caused by them testing XRP at various pricing points. Additionally, I am aware that XRP must be quite expensive in order to be used on a regular basis. However, XRP does not have two prices. A private ledger price and a public ledger price do not exist. They are the same thing, and David Schwartz has already refuted that on several occasions. Breaking David Schwartz, CTO of Ripple, claims that $1 million per XRP is more realistic than $1. This is not a work of fiction. It comes from the person who designed the XRP ledger. But David Schwartz didn't say it exactly. It will always be at least $1 million, he added, if you're purchasing $1 million home or need $1 million payment. However, he did state that, at least if you're aiming for high-value payments, an asset with a greater price is a superior vehicle for payments. What is the target of Ripple? High-value payments. Because it must be at that price to move trillions of dollars worth of value every day. I believe XRP will be a 5-digit asset. Cross-border payments, local payments, tokenized assets, the derivatives market, and micropayments will all take place. Interledger protocol will significantly increase all of those. For this reason, however, XRP will not remain around $3 indefinitely. Not even $100 will be the price. It must be a lot higher. However, David did not state that it would cost $1 million. Would it make it there? Who can tell? Let's start with $100 and work our way up to $1,000, $10,000, after which we will discuss $1 million XRP. The Altus Plateau is the source of this. He told me to rule them all when he sent me this. Recall that among the top 5 US crypto strategic reserves, XRP was selected as the core asset. The fact that XRP is officially recognized and here to stay is no accident. I appreciate how Fox News placed XRP in the center. It indicates that XRP has been selected. Why is the United States attempting to accomplish this? The goal is to maintain the dominance of the US dollar. They are developing a digital currency. When that occurs, I continue to believe that the digital dollar will be backed by tokenized gold. However, smoke makes a point. Indeed, stablecoins act as a front for the dominance of the US dollar. Allowing crypto-native financial systems to naturally increase the dollar's sway is the federal strategy. The stablecoin is currently the first step towards becoming the US digital dollar, RLUSD, USDC, and so forth. However, they all require a bridge. We have XRP, which is the bridge. Because of this, the United States will consistently turn away from Bitcoin in favor of something that makes the dollar stronger. Ripple and BlackRock are working together in a subtle yet significant way. According to a post on X, BlackRock and Ripple are working together in a subtle yet significant way. The financial system is being rewritten through the implementation of tokenization. No one is asking questions, and the resources, timetable, and people are all the same. I genuinely think that BlackRock and Ripple share the same goals. Additionally, I believe that they are both operating on a fairly similar timeline. Larry Fink's quick shift to tokenization is evident. In the future, he claimed everything will be tokenized. What is being worked on by Ripple? There are numerous institutional approaches of updating the XRP ledger in order to facilitate the transfer of those tokenized assets to the XRP ledger. Since more people will choose an easy option over a more difficult one, they aim to make it as simple as possible. For this reason, I believe that a significant amount of real-world asset tokenization will be captured by the XRP ledger. I even believe that BlackRock will tokenize XRP ledger assets. Through Ondo, they are already doing it. Are you familiar with the treasuries that will be added to the XRP ledger? When you start looking beyond that, I still think BlackRock will have an ETF. Many believe it will be revealed at the November Ripple swell. I believe it occurs sooner. BlackRock won't wait till the last minute, in my opinion. They will want to get an advantage over their rivals. That is going to happen unexpectedly, in my opinion. We're going to wake up one day, and suddenly XRP will be taking off, and you'll learn that BlackRock has filed for an XRP ETF. I am saying that it will not be a timed event. CIO, institutional adoption, bitwise, not slowing down, that is. Listen to it. As you are aware, August has historically been the worst month for cryptocurrency. Thus, a retreat in August is not unusual, because the larger themes driving cryptocurrency, including institutional adoption, aren't slowing down. I believe investors will be well positioned to profit from any dip. Additionally, the institutions I'm speaking with are proceeding without encrypting their portfolio. Therefore, I would seize the chance presented by any indication of weakness. Since I believe the long-term outlook is excellent, I would be taking advantage of the historic August dip that typically prepares for a very strong September, October, and November in cryptocurrency. He is therefore urging a retreat in August. Since everyone else believes that August will be a significant month for cryptocurrency, I'm not sure. I'll agree, but we're still waiting on a potential trigger for XRP. Believe that a few things must occur before cryptocurrency truly takes off. However, by the end of this month, everyone is demanding that XRP be between $4 and $8. In September, Goldman Sachs anticipates that the Fed will begin 3 consecutive rate reduction of 25 basis points. Rate cuts are also being demanded by BlackRock. In addition, Trump has called for rate decreases in September. Will September be the month that everything takes place? In the event that XRP keeps rising during August, we may be looking at a 2-digit XRP by September. Because this market is going to go crazy if the Fed starts lowering interest rates. All kinds of money will be coming into cryptocurrency. XRP is the most popular asset that is dominated on Korean exchanges. The largest exchange in Korea is exploding. $500 million in a single day. XRP is currently surging aggressively due to Korean enthusiasm. And XRP is a huge hit in Korea. There will be no change in that. In fact, when XRP flipped Bitcoin, I'll show you how they even shut off the Korean market in a different video. I'll be making later today. In fact, it took place in 2018. If, as many have predicted, the Fed cuts rates again in October and November, and we have a respectable August and a much larger September, then by the end of this year, we will be looking at a very expensive XRP, because most of the catalysts will be playing out in that same time frame. For XRP, everything is coming together to form the ideal storm, and I sincerely hope that everything works out. Since it appears that everything is on schedule to occur in the fourth quarter, I have been keeping a close eye on this timeline. And let me tell you something, there's a high potential that we'll see a 3-digit XRP if that occurs in the fourth quarter and the blow-off peak occurs in January. Keep in mind that it doesn't take a lot of money to influence this cryptocurrency's price. And until everything comes to